Justin, go get some tofu for dinner. You can use my car. The fast car. Initial D. It came out as a manga in Japan in 1995 and was a story about a reluctant hero who did street racing. Not that he wanted to, initially. Initially didn't want to. The story was about Fujiwara Takumi, who works at his dad's tofu shop delivering tofu in the wee hours of the morning. His skills at driving stem from his wanting to get back home really quick, and he reluctantly uses them to later defeat streetcar racer after streetcar racer. Eventually, he grows to enjoy driving as some of the challenges become tougher and tougher. The story was created by Shigeno Shuichi and is still running in Young Magazine. It spawned anime, live-action movies, toys, various video games for handhelds and consoles, a card game here in the US, very short-lived, and a successful arcade game franchise. One of the more popular ones is Arcade Stage 4, and today's game is actually a port of that one. Initial D, Extreme Stage. It's your average racing game. If you have an arcade by you, then you've probably seen a version of the Initial D racing game. It's fairly popular and even had cards that saved your information so you could race with the same cars over and over. And even though it is much easier to play with a steering wheel and footgear setup, you can easily play the game with a PES controller. Although, of course, it is much more fun to play with a steering wheel. Vroom vroom! When putting in the game and sitting through the opening movie, which you really don't have to watch, but it is pretty flippin' cool, you can load or start a new game. Don't forget that when playing Japanese games, that the circle button is the accept button and the X button goes back. You choose your driver first. Are you a boy or a girl? A girl? Now you name them. You can get English letters by pressing the select button and scrolling through all the options. Then, figure out what you look like. You can unlock new options as you play the game. Then you choose your car. They have many different kinds of brands and models. Choose the one you like. Choose color, and then choose automatic or manual transmission. I always play automatic transmission as I'm not very good at shifting in this game. Then you pick your license plate. Here, you can play around, but for me, I'm an Osaka boy all the way. Then you can change it any way you like. Customize away. I chose a naughty one. This is the story mode, with time attack right underneath. Replay lets you watch a replay of your driving from one of the two above options. Then, you have the options menu. Here's a list of stuff that you can do in the options menu, and there's a lot that you can do. If this is your first time, please don't be afraid to bring down that difficulty. Nobody has to know. And then you can go and race. Choose a story, choose an opponent, and then take off down that knife on fire. It's not knife on fire, it's night of fire. Oh good, because somebody could really burn themselves with a knife on fire.
What the? I don't even have a response for that!
Yeah. Choose your soundtrack by using the shoulder buttons. You can skip the story if you want by pressing the start button, but I always like to see how they interact with my character. But you want to know about the racing. So, here's the controls. X accelerates while the square is the brakes. You can also accelerate with the R2 button and brake with the L2. R1 shifts a gear up and L1 shifts a gear down. And for those of you who choose a manual transmission. You steer with the left analog stick. You can change your point of view with the triangle button and turn your headlights on and off by holding down the circle button. I'd tell you about the steering controller, but once again, I don't have it. Start pauses. From the pause screen, you can continue, retry, and manipulate the background sounds and music. Otherwise, everything on the screen is in English, which is why the arcade machines were imported to arcades here. Once a race ends, you can see the result, and then you can continue or visit a different course, or even quit. In the garage, you can pimp out your ride, and I promise never to say that ever again. Like, wow, that was really bad. There's just a ton to do in this game, and the races just get tougher and tougher. Even video game racing pros will have a hard time with this game. There's several different tricks to do, like drifting and catching shortcuts, and this game has it all. And drifting is tough to do. You need to hit the brake, hit the gas, and move the steering wheel at just the right time to do a drift. And I can't tell you how to do it, you just kind of have to practice it. Initial D has smooth controls, gorgeous graphics, and a fun little story, even though you can't really understand it because it's all in Japanese. The animated characters are okay, but you're going to be getting this game for the racing. The music is nice and very Europop. Seriously, I think the only reason Europop is still around is for the next Initial D game. And even though this game has been out a while, it still draws high prices online. But for the love of Pete, don't pay more than $65 for it. You can find it cheaper. Look around. Now here's a tip for you future and current importers out there. Importing stores often sell not only Japanese copies, which are a Region 2, but they also sell Asian copies, which are a Region 3. You can get a game from Region 3 and it will have the exact same Japanese game in the box, but it will also often have a translation sheet or a translated manual. Sometimes it won't have any English at all, like on the Monster Hunter portable third game that came with just the regular Japanese manual and a Chinese manual. But sometimes it'll come with a pamphlet in English, or even a whole manual in English, like what came with the Initial D PS3 game. So if you find a Region 3 version with a manual, then you'll have no problems playing this game whatsoever. And you can all shut up. I like the CCG. I had 11. I even got a little 11. To go with 11. Vroom, vroom, vroom.